Hey, happy New Year's, you guys. It is 8:16 a.m. on New Year's Day, and we're going to drive about 3.5 hours up to Daytona, to a place called Daytona 1. I've been invited up there by one of the guys from NASCAR to come up for a show and meet them and meet some other people there. And so hopefully we'll get to meet them. That'll be about 4 o'clock today. It's 8 a.m. now. We're also going to go to the Museum of Racing, I believe it is, the International Museum of Racing. I don't know the exact title of it, but it's the racing museum that is at the Daytona racetrack, where the Daytona 500 is. They are open on New Year's Day. It is about 75 degrees here in South Florida. A little bit of fog, but it's supposed to be a beautiful day, so it should be a really nice ride. And I will hopefully we'll get there about 4 o'clock. Is this other thing going on over at Daytona 1? We'll find out what that's about. And in the meantime, we'll stop at the racetrack. If you've never been to Daytona, it is a giant racetrack. I mean, it's like an airport. Actually, it's next to the airport, and I think it's actually bigger than the airport in Daytona. So that's where we're headed. It's going to be about a 3-hour ride. So I will see you when we get close. So welcome to another episode of Junkyards and Barn Finds with Sean, and I'm Sean. Alright guys, so I'm going to kind of introduce this video. About 3-4 weeks ago, I got an email out of the blue from a guy named John who works for NASCAR. And he invited me up to a car show. He's been watching the channel and such, and so he invited me up to a car show that is up in Daytona. It's called a place called Daytona 1. That's the headquarters for NASCAR. It's a big glass building. And it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon on New Year's Day. Come up, meet, greet, talk about things. And so I went up there yesterday, and that's what this video is. But it wasn't until 4 o'clock, so I thought, well, I've been to Daytona many, many times. My first time was 1989. And so I took the tour, and they take you out, and luckily what's called a cold track. A cold track is when there's nothing going on. There's no testing, there's no racing, there's no anything. So it was a cold track, so I took the little tour where we go out and we drive along the track, and you get to walk on the track and you get to see things. And so we did that, and I wanted to show you that. And it's also got the Hall of Fame, the Racing Hall of Fame that's there. And then we went from there to the car show. So this is actually going to be like part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is going to be Daytona, the racetrack, and part 2 is the car show that's right across the street in what's called Daytona 1, which is really nice. It's got restaurants and shops, and it's also the big glass building you'll see there is also where the headquarters is. Now the weird thing is, and I don't know if it was because it's New Year's Day or whatever, but the all my GoPros were giving me card errors, which I've never had before. I have 3 cards and I have 3 different GoPros, and so I had to play around with those. And so there was some stuff missed, but I spoke to John. His son was there. I tried to get a video of his son's car, but then his son left before I could get too big a video. You'll see it. It's a yellow Mustang. But I'm hoping to go back up there, videotape his son's Mustang, because it's really actually very cool. It belonged to his grandfather. It's got a Whipple supercharger and everything. Also, John has his original, and John's my age, and he has his 69, I believe, 69 or 68 Camaro SS that he's owned since high school. So I would like to go up and just do a video of those, and I hope I do. Also, there is a private collection the France family owns that's off-site in a nondescript building And that has some really cool stuff in it. So I would love to go back up there. I talked to John about it. We'll continue to talk about it. I'd like to go up and do a show about that. And so that's something we're going to be talking about. In the meantime, I wanted to show you a little bit of stuff here because I've been going to Daytona for a long time. In fact, let's look at this picture here. Is a picture of me in 1989. So we were there in 89. I've been to, I don't even know how many Daytona 500s, but this was the Daytona 24 hours in 1989. And that's what these pictures are. And the reason I'm putting these pictures out right now is if you watch any racing anymore, this right here was the Dixie highlight pit area. Here's a pit area here with people just walking around. You'll never see this again. Even the people that are on the team aren't really wearing any safety equipment or anything. Now this was the 24 hour, this wasn't the 500, but even if you look, nobody's wearing helmets, nobody's wearing fire suits. Here's TVS Sports. As I said, this is me. You can see everybody's just kind of hanging out. There are cars racing. This is in the middle of the race. And there's tons of people just walking around with no care in the world. Also, if we look, this was the Daytona International Speedway. This was the ticket back in the day, and it was $25 for the paddock. This was the infield admission, which was $35, and this was parking, which was $5. Now here is the Daytona 500 from 2016, and as you can see, they mailed me my tickets because I was getting tickets all the time. And I believe this ticket here, which one was this? This is 2016. I don't even know what ticket this was for. Section 129, row 4, seat 21. Here's for 2016. Same day. These are your. So I had two seats 129, row 4, seat 21, and these prices are $126 a ticket plus tax, $135. So this ticket for my seat, which was at the start-finish line, is $110 more for the 2016 race than it was for the 1989 race. And that didn't include, I think it was like another $100 or $200 for our camping spot on the infield, which was, yeah, I want to say it might even been more than that. It might have been $300 for orange. Here, the infield is $35, and back then you didn't even need a pass to get to the pits or anything. And here, the Sprint fan zone, I believe, was $99. So you can see how it's gone up. And then here's box seats for the, I think this is the 400 in 2010. These were Camping World 300. So these were the Camping World 300 back in 2010. I don't remember. I think I went to that. I can't remember, but I just wanted to kind of share, you know, what the world is now compared to the world back then. I mean, you could walk right down there, you can see it's Daytona. These were the old stands and everything, and this is the 24 hour, no color pictures, I don't think, except for some advertisers. But and then you have this here, which came, like I said, your tickets even are 3D, and then let's see, you know, they talk about all the redo. I think this is right when they had redone all the stands and everything. So yeah, this is just something cool I wanted to show you before we do the video. So that's where we went, and you know, I hope you enjoy the video. It's really cool. So I broke into two parts. The first part Part 1 is going to the Daytona Raceway, International Raceway, or Speedway. And then the second part is the car show that happened afterwards. So I hope you enjoy this as much as I enjoyed going there. Hopefully we'll go up, we'll do some more stuff with these guys. And anyway, so first 2 videos of the year. Enjoy, thanks, have a great day. Thank you for such a great first year. I hope this year even goes better. If you like this stuff, please. We've had 1.4 million people that watch things. We have 8,600 subscribers. It doesn't cost you anything. If you like this video, if you like my channel, please just hit subscribe. That really helps me. It helps the way that YouTube operates as far as putting the videos out there. So if you haven't done it yet, please just click subscribe, hit the subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Hit the bell if you want to see everything that we put up, but it would really help me out a lot. And if you like the channel, it always shows you when we put something up. So we're hopefully, I would like to get, you know, build the subscriber base up, because the more subscribers we have, the more stuff we can go, the more stuff we can do, the more places we can go, the more people will let us go into their private collections. You know, it's just like ratings on TV. If you get, the more ratings you get, the more openings. So if you guys want to see more cool stuff, then just keep subscribing, and the more subscribers I have, the more that I can go out and find more stuff. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for everybody for everything you do. And anyway, here's the video. For those of you who do not know what it's like to drive through Central Florida, if all you've ever done is come for Disney World, this is Central Florida. Basically, on both sides, this is Route 27, and basically it's just miles and miles and miles of orange groves. So you can see the oranges on the orange tree. Some are oranges, some are tangelos, some are grapefruit, but you can just see nothing for miles. Except for oranges. It's kind of like, I guess, when you go through Northern California and all you see is wineries over and over and over. But I will tell you this much, the air smells really, really good. So we are at a complete dead stop with 64 miles to go this morning until we get to Daytona. And as I was saying earlier, although I don't know if the battery died before, we are on the west coast, or the Tampa side of Orlando, in Kissimmee, which is where Disney and SeaWorld and all those things are. So that's why this traffic is. We haven't even hit Orlando yet. So if you come down here on vacation and you're flying into Orlando, Daytona is 63 miles to the east, but you have to actually go through the city of Orlando. And as long as I've lived here in Florida, which is pretty much, what, since the late 80s off and on, this is how I-4 has always been. Every day, all day, while you're going around where all the Disney and SeaWorld and Universal Studios and all that is. And especially now it's New Year's Day, which you would think nobody would be out, but all the tourists are here, which is good, because hey, if we didn't have tourists, we'd actually have an income tax in this state. And since we don't have a tourist, since we have tourists, we don't need income tax. But you can see it says Universal exits and everything else. Now, if you're a car guy, International Drive, there is a place called Old Town. Not to be confused with Old Town where the old gold is, but Old Town is it's on, I believe it's on International Drive. I've been there 100 times. I just got to think. But they have all kinds of rides. It's like a big carnival kind of place, but they have a great car show every night. Almost every night there's people cruising through there, and especially on weekends you'll get 1,000 cars, and you'll see all kinds of cool stuff there. But that's like the Orlando car guys and everything else, and because it's right in the middle where all the tourists are, and they give like a big like money prizes out almost every weekend to these guys. So but that's where we're at right now. In fact, if you look way over there, you can see some of the high tower rides that are just on International Drive. If we get up here, you'll see them a little better. See the two towers there, and then you can also see a giant merry-go-round. It's not merry-go-round. What's the things? It's the ones with the big circle, and you ride up and down on them. I can't remember. I'll fill it in. I'll type it below because I'm just having a brain fart right now. But anyway, we're at the Universal Studios. As I said, that's why everybody's doing like 20 miles an hour. Once we get through here, then we'll just go through the city of Orlando. And then we're about an hour, actually we're 1 hour away, 62 miles away from Daytona. One thing about Orlando is there's plenty of places to go. There's like at least 6 or 7 water parks. There's one right there. And then over here, you'll see the mountain and the water parks here. That's right. This stuff's all right off of the interstate. And that's relatively new. That's a big giant water park over there. And actually you can see a ton of people are there, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning on a New Year's Day. So there's not just Disney World or anything here. There's just a ton of things to do. All right, off to Daytona. Just got off of I-4. And we get on to State Road. I think it's State Road 29, but it's also known as West International Speedway Boulevard. And we are about 4 miles away. Alright, so as soon as we get, this is I-95 right here, Interstate 95, and as soon as we get past that, on the right you will see the racetrack. You can actually see the racetrack from Interstate 95. That's where we're headed. Let's see. And we've got to find where the opening is. That's turn 1 drive. We're not going to turn 1, we're going to the That's not open.
Destination is ahead on the right.
Here is where we should be going in. Right here. Alright. Motorsports Hall of Fame. All right, so this is the racetrack here, and we're going here to the in fact, that's part of the racetrack over there. So we're going right here to Motorsports Hall of Fame.
In 1/10 of a mile, turn left.
So we're gonna go ahead and park right next to this beautiful Corvette. I'll be honest with you, I'm starving, so I'm really hoping that there is something to eat here. If not, I know the IHOP, I'll show you in a second, but there's an IHOP across the street, and that's where we used to go whenever we come up for races, is to the IHOP. So let's get ready and we'll go inside. All right, so that's the racetrack. We're at the Daytona International Speedway Motorsports Hall of Fame, and this is actually on the racetrack grounds. And then when we come for racing, we normally will grab a bite to eat over there at the IHOP that's way over there. So we're gonna go in, and I will take you for a tour here. And I believe that is Dale Earnhardt. I want to say that's, yep, number 3. That's the statue to Dale Earnhardt. All right, so let's see what's going on inside. So we're in the museum and everything, and the cool thing is, for 25 bucks, which I was only going to take the tour, which is like 12, or the just tour myself, but it's $12. But we're going to sign up for the whole tour. Even though I've been here 1,000 times, maybe we'll get to, I'll point out, if we go near the start finish line, I'll point out my seat that we've been coming to for a long time. And you also get to take your picture. He takes your picture and you get a couple poses. Now, they used to have a restaurant here, but the restaurant's now closed and I am starving. So I'm gonna, and there's nothing in the bend. I'm gonna see what I can get, because I am just so hungry. And I've got about 30 minutes until the tour. So I am keeping with my diet. I've got some whole almonds, some cheese, and beef jerky. That's just regular beef jerky. When I'm done today with this tour, I will eat a salad before I go and do the thing I'm supposed to do later at 4 o'clock. So this is the ticket office and everything else. So if you ever want to come and get tickets for one of the races, this is where you would come. And then inside here is the museum. It's not really actually a museum, it's a Hall of Fame. And this is an overview of the racetrack. They redid the whole racetrack back, I think it was in 2015, might have been 2014. The orange section here, so the infield's different, broken down to different places. This is where we normally are, the orange section, and then my seats are always right here at the start finish line. So you can do the NASCAR racing experience, which is The Richard Petty, used to be the Richard Petty Racing Experience. So you get to drive one of these cars. And they have guest services, they've got ticket offices. Let's see, AJ Foyt's 72 Daytona champion. And this is the suit that he wore in 87 and 88. They have the pit shop, which you can come in and buy all kinds of stuff in here. Now during a race, they have these like all over out in the midfield, so you can go in, and also at the pit experience there. So they have programs and all kinds of stuff. And then we've got speedway tours. So we'll be on the next tour. Next tour is what, in 20 minutes or so?
What?
The next tour is in about 20 minutes. I think 1:30 or something, 1:20. Okay. The big screens for the races, yeah. Because they redid this, what, 2015? What was the year that they redid the whole thing? 16.
16 for the stands, resurfaced the track 2010.
Well, I mean the stands, yeah, because I have the third row in from the start-finish line.
Oh, right.
And they took the seats out in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
So now I have the first row.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so this is what it looks like. And we're going to take a little tour, and we've never taken the tour, so we're going to take the tour today. And you guys will get to see the tour.
Yeah, you were the biggest and the latest crowd today. That's why I could tell you guys had fun last night. Well, it's a new year, a whole new year to see how this one works out. I'm John, going to be your tour guide and driver today about this famous speedway. Who's been here to a race? Anybody? A few of you, yes sir, long ago. Would you say like?
Oh, I've been here since '88 every year.
Every year, so you've been to the new stuff, the new stands, yeah?
Yep.
How about there?
Probably about 10 or 15 races.
Oh, okay, so you've seen all the old and the new. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, a lot of things changed since 2016, including the bleachers are gone, now we got the new stands. So I'll tell you all about it. Most of you probably watched the race on TV, so we have a good opportunity today, a different opportunity. It's cold track, meaning we're the only thing out there. We're going to be on it, walking on it, start finish line, around Victor Lane, the fan zone, in the infield garages, and up in the stands. I'm going to drop you at the museum right over here after the tour, the Hall of Fame, where you'll see some of these cars I'm going to tell you about, the stock cars that used to race here, and why the Speedway was built. Give you that history, whose dream it was to build it. A few things I want to get out of the way before you get you on the tram. The seats you pick right now are the seats you're going to keep for the whole tour, all right? Once you hop off, we'll go back to these same seats. That expedites us getting around to see everything. Also, no smoking on board. That includes vaping. Makes the most smoke. We don't want to go there. Also, no eating anything on board. If you do have anything to drink, make sure it has a lid on it when you're not drinking water, soda, coffee, whatever it is. Also, folks, with your cell phone, take all the pictures you want, but do not use it as a phone. Turn the ringers off, put it on mute or vibrate. Just use it as a camera. If you want to FaceTime anybody, put it on and have them watch it, but don't carry on a conversation, all right? I'm going to be telling you all about Speedway, talking the whole tour, so you're going to want to, listen to what I'm saying and interrupt everybody else. Also, folks, we're going to have fun out there. Going to tell you a lot about a lot of things. Don't worry about it, there's no test. I just want you to have a good time. I'm going to learn a few things. Maybe I'll learn something. But anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the change. You guys are going to hop on. They're all great seats, so come on down because you're on my tour. My second, but who's counting? Starting to become a crowd down there.
All right, guys, I am not going to talk through this. We're going to listen to the tour guide, and I'll add my information later. So this was kind of unexpected today. So this may end up being part one, since we have that meeting later today. But I've never done this, and I've been coming here since 1988 was our first year, so we'll give it a shot. See what happens.
Well, like I said, today is a great opportunity. This track is used 258 days out of 365 days out of the year. So it's a real opportunity when it's a cold track that we actually get to be able to be out onto the track like we're going to be able to today. What actually inspired this track to be built here was the stock car races in the late 1920s, early 1930s on our beaches here in Daytona. Now the road off to your right is International Speedway Boulevard. The advertisement slogan was Daytona, speed limit, as fast as you dare on the beach. Well, that got a lot of people excited to go see these cars drive as fast as they could on the beaches here at Daytona. Now, there were stock cars. Your regular stock car, if you don't know what that is, it's your everyday car that you would use for your daily activity, taking the kids to school, grocery shopping, etc. On the weekends, they would soup up the car a little bit and then put on bigger tires and race on the beach. Now, like I said, the track was actually a makeshift track. It was 2 miles north on the sand, 180-degree turn, 2 miles south on the asphalt on the 87. Big Bill was really fed up. He decided to form his own racing organization, and that, of course, was called NASCAR, the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing. Now, he got drivers, owners, and mechanics together. They met at the Streamline Hotel over there in Atlantic Boulevard, right at the ocean front, for 3 days, going over rules and regulations of this new race organization. Well, once that was over, after those 3 days, NASCAR was formed. Now Bill was looking for an area where he could build the biggest and fastest speedway. Now to do that, in the United States, the biggest speedway would have to be 2.5 miles, because all the rest of them were 2 miles in the shape of an oval. Well, it took him 7 years to find this area we're driving on now.
American icon, blending the modern amenities that today's sports fans demand with the heritage that race fans expect from Daytona. As 2016 saw the closest finish in the history of the Great American Race.
Over to the left, here's a flat track. Now that is a 1.06 mile road course. It is completely flat, and it adds on to the 2.5 mile speedway to the right. Cup Series, Xfinity Series, the Rolex 24, Wawa 250, the Coke Zero Sugar 400, all use the road course as well as the speedway. Now we have the lawn, and hopefully that will stop them from hitting the bottom wall. Now these walls were created after the tragic loss 20 years ago last year of Dale Earnhardt Sr. Called the Safer Barrier Wrap, stands for Steel and Front Energy Reduction. The inside of the wall on the right, you'll see it over there, the white steel tubes are all fused together, they're hollow. And then you'll see that in between the 2 walls, there's white styrofoam tri-shield over there. There is the newsstand. The newsstands up there have replaced the old bleachers, and what you're looking at is 101,500 individual seats up there. About 3 weeks ago, it's going to say the Great American Race. That is the Daytona 500 coming up in 2 months. Again, folks, drop the trains on the left, and welcome to the Daytona International Speedway start-finish line. Now, it is angled at 18 degrees. It's a very steep hill. Do not, by any means, go on the right and on the lawn. Come on down to the left-hand side.
Probably not here now. All right, guys, so we've signed this before, but it's probably not here now.
One's here, the next one is in...
All right, guys, so that's my seats right up there at the 145. Those are the ones that we sit at. That's where the big screens are, and of course that's the broadcast center.
Down flat and drive on their back at 150 miles an hour, 1 inch off the ground. So there's the entrance to the road course and the exit to the right.
So this is the 2021 winner, Michael McDowell, and this is the actual car minus the gas.
so that when it comes back around, you can come out, because ain't gonna be any more Buicks until next year. We'll add one to it. But we encourage you to take all the pictures you want to take, ask all the questions you want to ask, videos, whatever you want to do. That's what.
So we'll take a look at some of the cars that are here. If you guys have never been here, it's actually really, really worth coming and checking it out. Doc Hudson's car from the movies. XJR7. So this is something you would see when I did SCCA racing. This class would be on. Obviously we didn't race against these because they were their own class. '52 Hudson Hornet stock car, the most successful car in the early days of NASCAR. And if you look at this, that's why they made that for the movie Cars. It was based on the fabulous Hudson Hornets that they would race at the beginning. So here's some awesome vehicles. We've got Rusty Wallace's final race car from 2005 right there. And then you've got this is the car, I believe, I want to say this is the one from Smokey Unix. So if you look at this car here, this is a Chevelle, but you probably recognize the paint job and everything on here because in Talladega Nights they also used the Chevelle painted this way. It was the dad character had a Chevelle similar to that. Some Dry Lakes modifieds from 41, 64. Another 64, and they're open wheel. They're not Indy cars, they're open wheels, but this is Mary Andretti's first IndyCar ride. But they're not, back then they weren't known as Indy cars, they were just known as open wheel cars. When they talk about learning, when you hear Jeff Gordon or anybody talking about learning how to race in golf or in go-karts, this is the go-kart they race right here. They're not regular go-karts. They do well over 100 miles an hour. And then here's Richard Petty's iconic. So this is the 72 iconic car that a lot of people think of when they think of Richard Petty. They either think of this one or they think of the Superbird. This is from 72. And if you look at all the safety features in a new NASCAR versus this is like the one when we were at Richard Childress Racing and we were showing, remember when we showed Richard Childress Racing his first race car, which I think was a 73, 74 Chevelle, and this is similar to that. But this blue color is called Petty Blue, and he actually owns the right to Petty Blue. So we've got on this, which is on a bank. So this is the same bank that you would see in Daytona. And you've got the Mad Dog 4, which was the world's fastest race car in 1961 by Bob Osicki. And he had wings on it, a tail on it. I mean, this is how it raced. And then up there you've got Kenny Bernstein's Budweiser King. Kenny Bernstein, everybody knew back in the 80s, and that's his 88 car. We've got genuine draft Miller cars, we've got antique cars, we've got some of the racing boats here that raced here as well, some off-road ones, motorcycles. Okay, so that's not Dale Earnhardt's Cup car. In fact, we saw, and you saw me sitting in one of his Cup cars up at RCR Racing up in North Carolina when we were up at RCR Racing. So this is not one of his, it's a replica of one of his. But if you want to see all his cars, go up to RCR Racing like we did, or watch the video. They've got all these displays of racing suits and race cars and race helmets, of engines. All these people that have been inducted into Racing Hall of Fame, or who are just super, super important. And then back there, they've got the 2021 Hall of Fame inductees. I don't know what's up with that old Corvette. There's one of Denny Hamlin's car, the 11. I'm assuming it's a Denny Hamlin car. I don't know. You work here?
I'm doing, yes.
So I saw Denny Hamlin's car back there.
Yeah, that's actually a photo car. It wasn't one of them that he
Okay,
won
it wasn't.
with. Yeah.
So it's one of his display cars.
Right. And then what we do is we swap those out with these in here. And if it's not super busy, 3 of us can watch, including back there, but as busy as it is today.
What's up with the Corvette?
They're still trying to research it. It was at Amelia Island as one of the first Chevrolet sponsored Corvette race cars.
Okay.
So then it came here after Amelia Island, and it is a Fuelie, but they had it in here for a while, and some restoration experts were sanding down some of the paint to see what the original colors were underneath. And they didn't do any of the areas where the numbers are. I noticed that. And they did the top, which I thought was odd because anybody swaps the tops out. But they did find the white paint underneath it, which is what they were looking for. And then I haven't seen them sanding on it now in about 6 months.
Real quick. Is there any place in here that has a Superbird?
Not around here that I know right now. We had a Superbird, but we rotate stuff out.
Any cars?
I got a bottle of one.
Yeah. Is there any cars in there?
No.
Okay, so just here. All right. So I was hoping to get a Superbird. Where's the front door? Front door to the lobby? Oh, there. Okay. Oh, exit. All right. So we came in here, did a lot of talking, jibber jabbing. But oh, let me go out here. I think I outlasted everybody here. All right, guys. So we're gonna head over across to Daytona 1 and see if we can meet up with John. So this is actually one of the pace cars that they used. So, all right, well, that was the museum. Now we're gonna go across and see what's going on over here. So did somebody remove one and then just got tired of doing it and said, screw it, I'm just leaving it the way it is? So this is another thing with the cops. You can drive by at 100 miles an hour. They call a four-door sedan, then you just turn around, you drive by and you wave. There's some dude with a four-door flying. April. Should they subscribe to this channel even if they don't like cars today for this one?
Probably just for this one.